With many movies making sequels in the past few decades and many of them flopping, we are here to determine one of many questions.
Does Kingsman, The Golden Circle, do what the first installation did and recreate what we want from our new generation of spy movies? Or is it just another meaningless sequel like many other films we see nowadays?
Find out on this episode of Popcorn Shovelers.
We're from the Kingsman tailor's shop in London. Maybe you've heard of us?
Weekend, it is safe to say many of the audience members liked it enough to give an average great reviews, but the critics have disagreed with the audiences and are almost split whether the film is a good film or not.
This has been shown in many different articles from different critics, and with the ratings being split on Rotten Tomatoes critically, Kingsman did not do as well as its predecessor. But the audience score is still very much above what most would consider average.
Also, as of September 28, 2017, the database for all things film, called IMDb, has thousands of reviews rating the film on average 7.3, which is just a little bit below Kingsman: The Secret Service, which had an average of 7.7.
With almost just as much wit as the first film, unexpected character additions, and a new world perspective shown through the eyes of the surviving Kingsman members, we happily dive into a more personal audience review to talk about what really went on in the movie, spoiler-free.
So Caleb, what did you think about the film?
Personally, I really liked it. It wasn't nearly as good as the first Kingsman. Honestly, actually, it would be pretty close to the first Kingsman, just it was missing a few of those key dramatic points where it was just really, really great. But there were a lot of emotional times, a lot of humorous times, and a lot of very, very awesome action scenes, which are great, but it's not like, not all of that makes a great film. This film was really good, but not as great as the first one. So what about you?
For me, I really thought there's two things that set apart this film from the original. The original had much tighter dialogue. This film, the dialogue a little looser, not every line's a zinger. Also the plot of the original. The plot was a lot more condensed. It made a lot more sense. And there weren't loose threads. There weren't a million things happening at once. It felt like it was a good plot. This film, the original, went to be a satire of the spy film genre as a whole. This film fully embraces it, for better or worse. So you get scenes that throw physics out the window, and there's just some characterization that I really feel that really missed. And there's characters who don't even get any character development.
I get that. They did introduce a lot of new actors into this little film.
Yes.
And Channing Tatum, who was obviously shown to be a very big role in the film, he wasn't really
he's in
actually
all the
in
marketing.
he's in all the marketing because he's a very popular actor, but he's not in the film as much as you would think.
Yeah, it's really weird. They have all these great actors: Halle Berry, Jeff Bridges, and like you said, Channing Tatum. Channing Tatum's like in 5 minutes of the film.
Yes.
Like all these big name actors, they have one or two scenes. Halle Berry does this the whole entire film. Jeff Bridges, he says a few lines, gets a paycheck. It just feels like they were there solely for marketing. You don't really expound upon what the statesmen really are. All you get is the Kingsmen, their front is Taylor. The statesmen, their front is a whiskey distillery. But that's all you get.
All right, I get that. Personally, I think that their roles were okay in terms of their time that they were shown on screen, because like with Jeff Bridges and Halle Berry and all those actors that were for the statesmen, they had very important roles because they were the ones helping out the remaining Kingsman members. So they obviously had a very key role in this film. It's just they weren't needed for as much. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a Kingsman film, it'd be a statesman film.
Yes, definitely. So Caleb, what did you think about the villain Poppy?
Poppy, I really liked her. Julianne Moore is a great actress, so I very much liked her. It's just I feel like her overall role was a little underwhelming.
Definitely.
Yeah, you understand, because the first villain, he had this major plan, and it was sort of hinted throughout until towards the end you know what's going to happen. But halfway through this movie, you know what her plan is, and you kind of can guess how she's going to be stopped and everything. It's just, I don't know, it was a little underwhelming, and she didn't have a whole lot of powers herself.
For me, Julianne Moore had big shoes to fill after Samuel L. Jackson.
Of course.
Kingsman Secret Service was the only film Samuel L. Jackson who played Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah.
And he was great as it. But Julianne Moore, I feel definitely coming off of Samuel L. Jackson, she's definitely underwhelming. She doesn't get much in character development. Her motivation is not even there. And I really feel she's overshadowed in the end. Talking about the ending, what did you think of it?
I liked the ending. It wasn't what the ending was in the first Kingsman. The first Kingsman, the ending was so explosive and it was very interesting. There was a lot going on, but it was very easy to keep up with. So I liked the ending of the first one, and I also like this one. It's just things were a little bit too choppy for me to really get along with. So I liked it, but there were definitely a few things that I would have personally changed about it.
For me, the ending comes out of nowhere. It's very Deus Ex Machina. There's really no hint of it coming up except for very few character interactions. And it leaves room for moral complexities, but it just plays it pure black and white.
I understand that. I also agree with that.
For those who don't understand our popcorn rating scale, a junior popcorn would be equal to 1 star. A small popcorn would be equal to 2 stars, a medium 3 stars, and lastly, a large would be 4 stars. But additional butter would be 0.5. So getting that out of the way, Caleb, where would you rate our film?
I would honestly rate Kingsman: The Golden Circle at around, honestly, a 4-star rating out of 5.
So medium?
Yes. No, a 4-star would be large.
Oh, yes.
So it doesn't get the butter with the extra star to make it 5. So I'd give it a 4 out of 5 just because it was done almost as well as the first one. Just it's missing some of those key elements that made the first one just so fantastic. What about you?
Personally, just a medium. Just a medium. It's nowhere near as good as the original, but it's definitely a good action flick to see over the weekend if you have some time to spare.
That concludes our review on Kingsman 2: The Golden Circle. I'm Caleb Schernhofer.
I'm Dante Zatoli.
And this is Popcorn Shovelers.
Stupid.